What's up, guys? It's your boy ZTY back at you with another video. I just want to go ahead and do a quick video on the Dwarf Cavendish. This is probably my most requested video right now, and I just want to go ahead and make sure I am able to give you guys the proper care guide that you need to be able to get your Dwarf Cavendish this big indoors. Now, this Dwarf Cavendish has grown in its entire life that I've had it in here. I got it about 1.5 years ago when it was a little pup. I'll insert a picture here. I got it when it was very young. I got it from King Supers for I think $15 back in 1.5 years ago, and this thing was definitely worth every dollar of that $15 because this is my biggest plant in here. As you can kind of see, this plant just towers everything. It's the daddy plant. It's the boss. And so yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right in it. So it is in a smaller pot that it needs to be in. I obviously need to have a bigger pot for this, but it is what it is. That's the pot I repotted it in when it was smaller. And to get a bigger pot, or to get this in a bigger pot, would take a lot. I would have to bring this way over here into the middle of the floor. I'd have to have somebody gently grab and lift it while I set another pot underneath it. It's going to be a lot. I do need to repot it. I probably will repot it within the next few months, but yeah, it needs to be done. It's not complaining. I don't think so, at least. It's sending up new shoots all the time, but you know, I just kind of want it to be a little bit more happier, so I'm going to go ahead and repot it just a little bit. I water this thing all the time. I have a purified water system, so I water it with purified water. I wasn't watering it the whole time with purified water. I was watering it most of the time with distilled water. If you can get distilled water, that'd probably be best. If you can't get purified water or filtered water or anything like that. But she has been getting filtered water for the last, I'd say, 3 months, and I can definitely tell a difference to all of my plants with the filtered water. All my plants are just doing amazing with the filtered water. They're all just super happy plants. So yeah, I would highly recommend filtered water if you can get some filtered water. This plant, as you can see, when it grows the leaves and the old leaves die off and you cut the old leaves off, it leaves these little like sheaths kind of thing. It leaves these, like, I don't know what you call it, but it leaves those. I didn't read this from anywhere. I didn't get this from anywhere. I was just one day, like, I saw it when it was smaller and it had one. I would like kind of yank on it and it would just like completely like come off, like the whole sheath would come off. So after a while, I kind of just started taking the loose sheaths off. Now I know a lot of people will leave their stuff on, but I think that's the problem with the indoor banana and having that on. I think that causes problems. So you can see down here where I've ripped it off, cut it off many times over and over again. And I always rip it down to the base right down here. Oops, sorry, I always rip it down to the base right here. As you can see, there's a little pup right there too, little pup coming up. But I always go down to the base like right here, just so it doesn't have water and bacteria sitting back here. Now see, this one's not ready to go. That one's like on there. You can tell when they're ready to go when they kind of slip away from the actual stock for the most part. But this one, these are still on there like completely. That one's a brand new cut because you can tell. But yeah, when they start getting super done and they are already falling off themselves, then yeah, see, that's not ready to go at all. Then you can go ahead and just pull them off. I'll place a video right here so you can see me actually pulling one off. I don't know if this is like a good thing or a bad thing, but this is one of those things I've done since I've had the banana plant that I don't know if it helped to the success of it or not, but every now and then I would like pull some of these down to see if they're ready to come up, and if they were ready to come off, they would like rip down like this. And of course they're like really wet. It's really wet. It's a lot of moisture. I would just go down to the base and I would just cut that off. So I'm going to cut that off real quick. Hold on. Let's see if I can do it on camera. Cut right there. Cut right there. Cut right there. You see, that's the outside. And I would just cut. If it was ready to go, like I wouldn't force one to come off. But like, you know, I would pull. Oh, see how I pulled this one? It's kind of just, I pulled it and it's like, it pulls back. Like, let me see how I grabbed this one and it pulled back. So this is just something I've done to my banana, and I don't know if it's a good thing, but I don't do it all the way to the top. I'm not gonna do this one, but if it's ready to go, I'll check this one real quick. But if it's ready to go, I just take it off. But I just go until it's comfortable. I don't like force anything off. So I just go until it's like comfortable. Come over here and just cut around it. It's just something I do. Lay that one like this. See, like there's like a little spider or something right there. But you know, I just don't want nothing living or like getting infected in here. And you can see it's like super pink. I don't think this one needs to go anywhere. Oh yeah, I guess. See how nice and easy that comes off? Let's see, I don't force it, I just gently let it tell me what wants to come off. What doesn't is plants. Bananas are like mostly water. That's why if you let bananas dry out, that's the worst for bananas. Don't let bananas dry out. And boom. Got a nice clean stem. Yeah. Other care, fertilizer. I fertilize this with a palm fertilizer. I have a shake and feed fertilizer that I've used for all my palms, and honestly for most of my plants. I just throw a little bit of the shake feed in there on top of my fish tank water. So it gets a lot of fish tank water as well. And fish tank water is amazing for these plants. If you guys don't know about fish tank water and plants, there's a golden pothos that's growing up and out of the fish tank using fish tank water, and there's a regular golden pothos growing up at a fountain. And you can tell the size differences dramatically. Yeah, fish tank water is just it's just a miracle liquid. I use fish tank water, I use Super Vit, I use this the fertilizer that I use for my fish tanks as well. I use that as well in my plants, and then I use the palm fertilizer, the shake and feed palm fertilizer. That is also very amazing. Now, I water this probably every 3 days just because the pot is super small and this drinks a lot of water. This plant is mainly water. Banana plants are not trees, they are plants. That is all water. That is all water. Everything you see. And you'll notice is water because if you let this plant get a little dry, if you let this plant go past its dry point where it likes to be in the soil, then the leaves easily, like you'll wake up and your leaves will be like this. But if you didn't check your plant and you didn't check the water in it and it needed water that day, and it was a kind of a hot day, and you come back in the later on afternoons, your leaf will be hanging down. Like one of your leaves will be down. Sometimes two. I've had 2 leaves just down because it was too hot, not enough water, and it was like bye. So make sure you keep lots of water on these guys. Make sure you do not let them dry out because they don't like to dry out, but don't keep them moist because obviously it's indoor and you don't want to fight root rot as well. So it's a very thin, it's a very fine balance, but I would say stick more on the moist side than on the dry side with the banana. Light. This plant needs light. I see people trying to grow banana plants inside their house next to a wall that's like dark like this. Like if my banana plant was right here growing, it would not be happy. This pot does not get a ton of, it's still bright, but it's not, you dig, you see the difference? It's not that. So you definitely want it to be a south facing window, and I have this south facing window, those south facing windows, and those are west facing windows, and those help a lot too because the sun actually does come when it's setting that way. The sun actually does come in and hits it that way as well. So this plant gets hit all morning because it sees the sun come up over there on the east. It gets the sun all day, and then when the sun goes that way, it comes through these skylights, not skylights, but these windows way up there as well. You can see the sun that's already hitting it. It's only, 9 o'clock in the morning, and these plants are already fully in sun. Even my Boston, which gets a little bit of sun, which it's not supposed to, but I think it's all right. But yeah, so light, lots of light. Needs lots of light. Humidity. This plant loves humidity. It is a tropical plant. It is a banana plant. It loves humidity. You need to give this thing at least 60% humidity in your house. You need to at least keep it 60% in your house. At least, minimum 60% for this guy to stay happy. If this guy is not getting humidity, then he will die, TT. It needs humidity, it needs moisture, and another thing it needs, airflow. Airflow is very, very, very important to these guys. Look at him constantly swaying. He is constantly moving in the wind. He is constantly getting movement. You need airflow in your house. I have a ceiling fan up there. I have a fan that sits back there. I don't know if you see it rotating back there. I got a fan that sits back there. I have this fan right here. And I have this fan, if it wasn't clear, up there. So I have, and another ceiling fan up there. So I have a ton of air movement. I'm gonna get one more fan, put it right here. I'll put it right here, and that way it can blow this way. Or maybe I'll put it over here, actually. I'll probably put the fan like right here, so it can blow this way. But yeah, you need a ton of air movement. Without air movement, this thing's gonna suffer. It's gonna suffer. It's going to. It needs air movement, it needs humidity, it needs moisture, it needs light. Those are the basic things it needs, and I fertilize this thing every watering. The palm shake feed probably is about, it says 3 months it lasts up to, but I use it every, like, once a month. I probably use the shake and feed fertilizer, and all the other fertilizers probably once every other watering. Like one watering gets like plain purified water, another watering would get the fertilized with the fish water, with the fish fertilizer additive, the super vit, things like that, just to keep it strong. But yeah, it's not really that hard to kind of take care of one of these things, guys. This is actually my easiest plant. Out of all my plants, this banana has been the easiest plant I have ever grown. Next to Bob, of course. Bob, you know you're the easiest. I don't even touch you really. So Bob, you know you're the easiest. But this banana next to Bob is definitely the easiest plant I have ever had to deal with. And I don't even say it in a bad way, have to deal with it, because I don't deal with it. It's just, it grows. It does its thing. Give it lots of light, give it lots of love, and your Dwarf Cavendish will be great. Anything else? Let's see. We did over watering, we went over light, we went over airflow, we went over fertilization, we went over pulling off the husk. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple plant to grow indoors, guys. And if you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe, like, and hit that ringer so you can get notified when I drop bangers like this. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.